What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Hope Shot. Hope you guys had a great weekend. If you guys just jumping on, say what's up. Let us know you're here. Caesar, would you read that clarity statement from my friend?
Yes, sir. The Hope Shot Clarity Statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common. Recovery is a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. And thank you for being a part of our Hope Shot family.
Thanks, Caesar. And we got our special guest Melissa in the house. What's up, Melissa? How are you?
Hey everybody, I'm doing good. I'm so excited to be here. You know, I love the Hope Shot. All my people at the Hope Shot. How are you? How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Sure.
What's up? What's up, Nate? Where are you at, Nate? You're muted, so
God, I'm nowhere. I'm in the ether.
we don't say words like that. No,
I'm in West Texas right now.
West Texas.
Yeah, oil country.
Yeah, in the media room, right?
Football country.
Football country.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, if you guys just jump on and say what's up, let us know you're here. Man, yeah, I had a great weekend. I went last night and got my hood on. I went and seen 50 Cent and Busta Rhymes and Jeremiah, and it was I'm telling you right now, it was one hell of a show. I had a blast. Oh, I see somebody in the house in here. I gotta put them on there. We got Erica in the house. Yo, but for real, like the 50 man, he really put on a great concert, and I didn't realize, like, you know, that I grew up with 50 Cent, and man, I didn't realize how much I enjoyed his music, bro. I was like, we was just getting it, man. We was vibing, bro. All of us. It was just a great time. So I absolutely loved it. It was great.
It's fun when you know all the words to every song that's coming on and you're getting into it, right?
Yeah, and it's the first rap concert I've ever been to.
I've never been to a rap concert.
Me either. And then there I was. There I go. You have to buy tickets to go, so there's that. Yeah.
Like I keep saying, I want to hit the lottery, but I've never bought a lottery ticket, so it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, that's usually how it works, you know.
I would think.
Yeah, I can't just get it from reverse osmosis. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just gonna manifest being a millionaire in my life, and not do any action steps.
No, I'm gonna manifest it, just not through the lottery.
Yeah, it's showboating, anyways. I mean, I don't even know if those are real people that are winning out there.
Allie says, "Why isn't her YouTube working?" I don't know. We don't control your YouTube, Allie.
Yeah. Technical, you got to call technical support. It's not here.
You got to call somebody in Bangladesh to get them to fix it.
Yeah, and you barely can understand them. I see we got Lynn in the house. What's up, Lynn? Good to see you. We got Melissa. Good evening to you too. We got another Lynn. What's up, Lynn? Good to see you. Love you too. We got Tina. Good to see you. And we got Rachel. Happy Sunday. Good to see you, Rachel. And we got Mike Kenny in the house. What's up? All right. So, wait. Are we live on YouTube? Yes, we are live on YouTube. All right. So, I'm going to let Caesar bring the topic for tonight.
Did you write it down?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. So, before we go on here, we talk about things, and then I have to come up with this catchy little phrase that kind of puts it into sounds great, but Nate did. Nate came up with this one. So it is, and I wrote it down. Loneliness is a choice.
Boom.
And then
that was good.
Boom.
Okay. So I was talking to a good friend of mine today, and, that's the conversation brought me to the fact that addiction, depression, whatever you're dealing with, it thrives off of us feeling alone, feeling separate, feeling like nobody's there for us. And it's a choice every day for me to pick up the phone and stay connected to my community and stay connected to my support network and It's effort that I have to put in every single day to stay connected. So the opposite of addiction is connection, and I want the opposite of addiction. So I try to stay connected to my community. But I know that when I was out there, I could be in a room full of, I don't know, 200-300 people, and I would feel completely alone in that room. And when we get into recovery, we can feel that way too. You know, if you get a little bit disconnected from your fellowship, something's going on in your life and you withdraw, all that beautiful support and that connection that helps you along, we can sever that like unknowingly and just separate ourselves again, mentally, physically. You know, I'm not a part of, I don't feel like I have anything to offer. And it's a dangerous place to be. You know, it's not lost on me that I couldn't put together a day, a week, or a month before. And now I've been able to put together, you know, a little over 9 years. And the difference is I'm plugged in on a daily basis. I'm plugged into my higher power. I'm plugged into my support network, my fellowship. This thing is ingrained in my life. And there's really no space in me for that. I'm just going to sit at home and feel out of place. You know, it's part of my daily routine that starts off with gratitude in the morning, and immediately 4 or 5 people are messaging me their gratitude. I'm reading their gratitude. They're reading my gratitude. And I'm plugged in from the first 20 minutes that my eyes are opened up. I'm plugged into my source and I'm plugged into my people. And then I maintain that throughout the day. It's easy to isolate. I did it my whole life. You know, I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to deal with problems. I don't want to deal with things. I'm just going to sit in my room today, you know, and I'll deal with real life tomorrow. But that's not what I got into recovery for. The deal was I was going to be able to face life on life's terms without having to put something in my body. Nowhere did anyone or any literature tell me that it would be super easy and that it would be rainbows and unicorns. And nobody said that, but they said I would be able to face life on life's terms. And the caveat to that is with y'all's help, with the help of my higher power and my fellowship and my experience, I can face anything. And the way that I am today is if something disturbs me, I have to face it right then. I can't put it on the back burner. If I have a tough phone call to make, I'm going to make it right then. If I have a hard conversation that I have to have with someone, I'm not going to put it off till tomorrow. I'm not going to hide from the hard things in life, because when I hide from the hard things, I withdraw from life and I withdraw back into myself and I get disconnected. So to me, it's important to talk about, because you can feel like you're completely separate from everybody else. Oh, everybody's got all this time. They have all these stuff to offer. I don't have anything to offer. I'm just going to be mousy and quiet and sit in the corner. And you go back to feeling like that person that's all by themselves in a room full of people that are really there to support and help you, but you don't open your mouth and you don't put your hand out and you don't ask for a phone number. So you don't get connected. So I feel like it's a good topic. I feel like everybody's had that feeling of being all alone, even though they're surrounded by people. And it's a dangerous place to be in recovery. So take it away, Hope Shot fam.
Thanks, Caesar. Yeah. I mean, I definitely can relate with that, being all alone, man. And like, it's always conditioned on what I'm doing in my daily practice, just like you said. And I just experienced that not so long ago, you know, and that, you know, going to my meetings where I've been for the last 5 years, and I feel like totally misplaced. And that is a shitty feeling to feel like, you know. It's a shitty feeling, man, that like the one place that you know that you feel like you belong and you don't feel like you belong anymore. And in that moment, it's like, it feels like it's hopelessness and you feel like there's no getting away from it and you don't want to go and like that. But that's the times you need to show up and go to these meetings or whatever you need to do, you know, to try to get back into that being center and just being. But Nate, speak.
Yeah, so I love this topic. I'll share a spiritual experience that I had not even a month ago, really. So I had bought tickets to go to this concert in Nashville, see one of my favorite bands, Manchester Orchestra, right? And my friend that was supposed to go with me couldn't come. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go anyway. I'm gonna have fun, go by myself, I'm gonna enjoy myself. And I was in like a kind of a weird space already. So, but I just wanted to, go on an adventure and enjoy myself, right? So I get there and I get there on a Thursday night. I go down to Nashville, and it is teeming with people, and I'm like, no way, I'm out of here. I turned around, I left. I go back to the hotel, I sleep, go to the movies by myself, had a great time, that day before the concert. Then I go to the concert, and I'm sitting there, and I felt there. I'm surrounded by 10,000 people, right? And I am just in my head. I'm seeing like, all these couples, all these friends, and they're all having a great time. And I'm like, man, this sucks, dude. I'm like not enjoying myself, and so after Jimmy World went on and a little interlude in between before Manchester came on, I'm like, there was this a guy next to me and his son was there. And finally I just reached over. I looked over and I started talking to the guy. I made a choice, right? I'm going to engage this guy, see what happens. And we end up just talking about music. I'm talking to his kid about his first concert. And then Manchester comes on, we're jamming out to them together. And like, it was like, okay, that's all I have to do. I have to get out of my head, get out of my way, make a choice. Because for me today, I have built such a fellowship around me and such a strong connection with my higher power that if I am alone, if I'm feeling lonely, it's because I'm not doing anything about it. It is something that, and it's like, for me, there was a time when I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything alone. And I have another anecdote. So in my addiction, I remember, and this is like the depths, and it's just to share a little bit of my darkness. I remember I had been up, I had ran out of, we're going to get a little bit graphic here. So I ran out of heroin. So I got some meth, and I'd been on meth for like a week straight. And I'm at my family's house in the back room. It's like 3 or 4 in the morning. I haven't talked to anybody like in 5 days, aside from my dealer when I got more, right? And what I started doing, my parents are asleep, they're living normal, responsible adult lives, and I'm in the back, and I have this, and I'm throwing shoes at my wall. I'm just throwing it as hard as I can to make a lot of noise, so they like think something happened and they'll come back and engage me. You know what I mean? That's the type of loneliness I dealt with when I was out there. Right. So then now I come into this thing, and I don't know what it's like to have friends, have friendships, to have connections. I'm meeting people, having a normal conversation that's not related to like, what I could get stuff for or what prisons I've been to. Was like, I just felt out of place. Right. So what do I do? Right. Same as the concert. I got to look over and I got to ask somebody for help. I got to get vulnerable, make a decision, and make some changes. Right. And the other thing that I think is super important to touch on about this subject, if I don't have, if I'm feeling lonely, isolated, whatever the case might be, that is a direct reflection of my spiritual condition. That means that something is missing with my connection to my higher power. Because guess what? It shouldn't matter who's around me. I should always feel at peace and in good company, because I have a relationship with this higher power who is with me always, right? So what am I not doing to feel like that? Where am I at, And I believe that Justin and I talk about this all the time. Like, if I'm feeling lonely, if I'm full of fear, anxiety, to reach out or whatever, these aren't necessarily bad things. These are signposts. This is a gentle nudge to get your fucking feet moving, you know, to get moving, put some action in, reach out to some people, get on your knees, write, do something. Because for me, what is it? You know, idle hands is not good, you know, and I need this for me, my recovery. This is like a foot game. It's an action game. Is if I'm not moving my feet, I will become stagnant. I will regress into old behaviors. I will be full of fear, insecurities. And this shit has happened in the last year. It's happened. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. If you're new, if you've been here for a while, Justin just shared on it, you know, going to his meeting and feeling like an outsider, you know, that happened to me this year. You know, I just, you know, it's what am I willing to do? How am I nurturing my relationship with my higher power? How am I nurturing my connection to my fellows? Am I utilizing this network that I have, which is just basically a manifestation of my higher power, because that's what my source talks through, is this network, this fellowship that I have, you know, and how connected am I to them? You know, if all these things are aligned, it's very, very difficult for me to feel lonely or isolated. But if I'm not firing on all 8 cylinders, so to speak, or something is missing, I need to get busy and fix that, you know, because like I said, my loneliness, or if I'm feeling sorry for myself or isolated or that I'm not a part of, that's in direct proportion to my spiritual connection. And I need to get tweaking on that.
You nailed it though. The feeling sorry for myself. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like that'll be in my head. Nobody gives a crap. Like, you just got to do what you got to do. Nobody gives a crap. People do give a crap, you know, but I'll tell myself that, or nobody's called me today. I guess nobody cares. Nobody's calling me. It's not their responsibility to call me. I can pick up the phone and call somebody, but I'll do that. And I'll send myself into that. Nobody cares about me. If I don't reach out, nobody's going to reach out to me. Well, it's not their responsibility to maintain my spirituality. It's my responsibility to maintain it, to maintain my connection. Does it mean that I don't still do that sometimes? No, of course I do that sometimes. I'll sit there and I feel sorry for myself. I'm not connected to anything or anyone. And it's BS though, but it goes back to why I brought up the topic. I truly believe that's your disease trying to isolate you again and get you into a point of where you're not going to reach out to anybody. Then the chinks in the armor show and it can work its way back in and you go, well, nobody gives a shit about me. I don't give a shit. Guess I'll go use. I am of no value to anybody, or they would be calling me. So since they're not calling me, I have no value. I'll go pick up. And that's as insane as that sounds coming out of my mouth right now. That's some real shit. That's the way that it goes. It starts with I feel sorry for myself. It's followed up by the more isolation, not bouncing your ideas off of anybody. And then you're alone and you're defenseless because your thoughts are so loud that you can't hear God anymore. And right. You haven't reached out and talked to a human being and you're defenseless against picking up.
And that's like a momentum too. Like when you're in that state and the longer you go without taking action or calling people, the walls get a little bit taller to scale. You know what I mean? Until it's like an insurmountable, you can't even conceive like, oh, now, and then you'll start thinking, what are they thinking about me? Oh, what are they thinking about me? I
hear other people's opinion.
They're mad at me.
In weeks, I haven't called anybody.
Right.
They probably already think I relapsed. Might as well go relapse.
Yeah.
You know, like it's nuts, but that's the way I'm wired, is kind of nuts, you know, or else I wouldn't be on this podcast and I wouldn't be in freaking recovery and doing what I'm doing. I'm not wired right. And if I let this run the show, I'm screwed. I have to have people to bounce ideas off, and I have to have a connection to a higher power, because I fired myself for mismanagement. So I have to have a new manager managing my life, because I'm not qualified to manage my life.
You know, that's the representation to me is Eeyore. Okay. hey you guys, that's like anytime I hear that, that's what I and I'm really good at Eeyore. That's my character. At times, and sometimes I'm Tigger, and sometimes I'm Winnie the Pooh. It just depends on what day, what time, what am I doing in my spiritual conditioning, and that's what I like. We're characters, man. Like at certain times, I'm a different fucking character, and that's why like. I need to do something. When I'm Eeyore, man, I'm really feeling it, and I need to do something. And then I got my friends like Nate. He's Tigger at that time. Hey, we doing?
No, Nate's Christopher Robin.
Yeah, whatever. You know what the hell I mean. But hey, and listen, I looked up something real quick. So I looked up something. It says 1 in 2 Americans say they're lonely, and the impact on well-being can be damaging as smoking or obesity. Isn't that crazy? And it's like 1 in 2 Americans. So it's like, you're not alone in this. So it's not like, we always think we're like, like nobody else is feeling this way, or, I'm all by myself. No, actually, you're not. You're actually not alone at all. Even in the loneliness, you're not alone, and that's crazy to say. It's like the loneliness, I'm alone, but no. And I think the effects of COVID are long-standing too, because I think it was, hold on, let me read a comment real quick. Tony, here, I've been struggling lately with the loneliness and belonging and being isolated with COVID, as well as working from home and expecting me out of other people. And that right there alone, COVID mixed with working from home and being isolated, that is like just it's a bad situation, right? And a lot of people are still feeling the effects of it, and they can't get out of it. And being isolated has become the new norm. So now we have socially awkward with isolation. And how do you get back out of that, right? And we have our social media, our digital stuff, blah, blah, blah. And we feel like we're connected, but that is a false sense of connectedness, right? That is totally not connected.
It's better than nothing, but it is
artificial.
Not the goal. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's better than nothing, but it's not the goal.
It is not. That is something it's like, it's not, it's artificial flavor. That's what it is. It's artificial flavor. It's not the real deal. It's like having an apple or freaking, having apple flavor. It's not the same thing.
It's genuine human connection, in person. There's nothing better than that. There's just, I don't care if you're an introvert, an extrovert, when you sit down one-on-one and talk to somebody about some serious life stuff, man, there's just a bond that's formed that you can't get sitting on a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Melissa, jump in.
I love the topic. It's everything. It's everything that I banter about all day, day in, day out over at Sober Now. Really, you always hear me talking about staying connected. I always give you the credit when I say it, Justin, but I say it all the time. It's words that you've spoken into me that have stuck with me. Show up. You got to show up. And when we were originally kind of chatting back and forth before we got started tonight about topics, I threw relapse out there because I've written a chapter about it, and it's I've relapsed several times, and that's why I had said, well, maybe we should talk about it. But there was another driving force behind that, and that's because several people around me have relapsed recently, and we're talking about some people who have some good solid time. And, when I've had conversations with them and I've been able to spend some time with them, they're back, I'm grateful that they're back on track and they got back up, right? Because we know that that's not always the reality. If you relapse, we know that it leads to jails, institutions, or death. But So I've talked to these people, one of them specifically, and she was lonely. So I think that it's a great topic, Caesar, because you would think with somebody that has her amount of time, and she is where she is in her recovery and life in general. She has a lot of wonderful things built around her, right? She's done a lot of work and she's had a lot of great people come into her life. And from the outside looking in, right? Outside looking in, you think she has it all, but she got in her head. And you said, what was the topic? It's a choice. Loneliness is a choice.
Yeah.
She chose to be lonely without realizing that that's what choice she had made. And it did exactly for her like you described. There's a door and that cracked it open a little bit. And then something else happened and the door opened some more. And then another event took place and it opened more. I know that we all have our different pathways. We all believe in different things. I believe in God and I believe in the counterpart of that. Okay. And so if the devil's whispering in your ear, you're not good enough. Those people don't want you around anyway. Why bother? All of the things that you talked about, Caesar, then it gets inside your head and then you start listening to the other messages that are sent to you. So that's connected to what Nate was talking about. And it's something that I wanted to bring up tonight because your connection to your source, mine's God. Everybody has their different source, their different higher power, is everything. Because when you are, he said it exactly right. Like I guess I'm just repeating what he said because I agree with him 100% in my recovery. That when the difference between who I was all of the times that I tried to recover and the person that I am today with the longevity that I have is because of my connection with my higher power. And as long as that is healthy and moving in the right direction, and it's not always, my relationship with my higher power is a lot like my recovery. It's not like me and God are like this. I'm ornery and I fight and he throws stuff and I'm like, no, not for me. And then so I'm always ebbing and flowing through everything, through my relationship with God, through my recovery, through my relationships with the people around me, through my writing journey, everything that I do is ebb and flow. But as long as, number one, my relationship with my source is fortified daily and throughout the day, really, you guys. I mean, just as often as you pick up your phone and look at it and scroll through social media to see what's going on at the Hope Shot or Sober Now, you can stop and check in with your source. I almost don't allow myself to not make some of the, random daily moves that everybody else does until I do that. I check in with, because I have to kind of trick myself to stay connected with them. I do. I'm not just going to be like, oh, I work at a church and I'm in recovery and I know God and he's revealed himself to me and I had a divine intervention and now I'm holier than thou. It's not, man, that's just not how I'm built. It's not, I have to be real with you guys and with myself. And so I have to kind of trick myself throughout the day. Not trick myself, but yeah, I have to trick myself or treat myself. Like you reward a little puppy. Oh, if you stand, then you can have a treat. Same for me. If I stop and I pray and I check in and I'm feeling good and I got my mind right, then I can reward myself by doing some of the other things that have nothing to do with the graces and the connection that I have with my higher power. But the friend of mine that I started out talking about, she's back on the right path. And I love that for her. And I just think that if there's anybody else out there that's listening, sorry. If there's anybody else out there that's listening tonight or is watching this, if you have slipped or something has gotten you made a decision and your sobriety has been jeopardized by it, get back up and get out there and get reconnected. You deserve recovery. You're not alone. You're not the only person that's made mistakes. You are not alone. That is a choice in your mind. We are here to tell you tonight that you're very much surrounded by millions and millions and millions of people in recovery that understand. We understand all of it. There's nothing that we can talk about here on the Hope Shot tonight that hasn't already been talked about a million times. We're just doing it over and over again to remind each other that this path that we're on is hard and it's rewarding and it's fun and sometimes it sucks and it's all of the things around that and in between. But when it comes down to it, it's possible. Recovery can happen. and a life worth living is available for you. So if you're out there and you're feeling alone, you're not, close that door that I was explaining is starting to open up slowly. Slam it shut right now tonight. Let us help you. I'll come and I'm slamming the door for you. And stop those voices that are in your head. Listen to the voices that are right here tonight telling you that you're loved, you're not alone, you're worth it, you can do it, and keep going. That's all I got. I love y'all.
I love that. That's what we need to hear. That's what we need to know. Is I have a thing called, really expensive rehab psychiatrists, psychologists, I don't know what they really were, counselors maybe. I have all or nothing thinking combined with perfectionism. And what that means is if I want to do something, if I'm going after something, like I want to get sober, I focus in and I go at it 150%. And I try to do every single thing perfect. And this is with everything in my life. I'm just using my recovery as an example.
Yeah.
But the all or nothing thinking and the perfectionism, here's the problem with it. As soon as I make one mistake, there's no grace.
Yeah.
If I make a mistake, oh man, I missed that meeting or whatever I did. I did this one thing wrong. I take a match and I drop it over my shoulder and I light that life on fire and go, well, that was a good try, but I knew I was a junkie all along. Let's go back to doing that. And I do that with everything. And I'm sharing this with everybody so you can know that I'm just as vulnerable and I'm just as wacky as anybody out there. And I have to put myself in check. There was a point where I was going to church and I had this Bible app, right? And the worst thing you can give a guy that's competitive with perfectionistic traits is it gives you a streak on the Bible app. And it goes, man, you got 3 days in a row.
Bro.
You got 3. Do you remember this, Nate?
I remember because I do it with Insight Timer.
So I had over a year, like that I had opened up and read something spiritual every day. And then I missed a day. One day, it was after midnight. So I really hadn't even missed the day. I had opened it up before I went to bed like I was supposed to. But it was after midnight and the streak wiped out. And that was that. And my wife was like, are you seriously still not doing your Bible thing at night? I was like, no, that's dead to me. Like
it's legit.
The streak is broken. I'm not doing it ever again.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I've come back around and I open my app up again now, but it took months. And that's how crazy I am that the littlest mistake, missing that by an hour, it took me almost, 3 or 4 months to open it back up again. Because when I'd open it and I'd see that welcome back day one, I'm like, oh, the disrespect. No, I'm not doing it. But I mean, it's nuts, but that's how I'm wired. And I have to watch out for that because I'm human and I'm going to make mistakes. I got to stop thinking I'm going to do things perfectly. That's not realistic. I'm going to make mistakes and I damn well better be prepared to pick it up and keep it moving and not take my old thinking into my new life because I've got a ugly streak of throwing the match over my shoulder and burning it all down because of one little mistake. And I do not want that, nor do I have space for that in my life today.
No.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Justin. I'll go after you.
No, I was gonna say it's that belief system. You know what I mean? Like if we can alter the way we believe, like who we are as individuals, like you just said, when something doesn't work out, I fucking knew it. And we already had that in our minds when we started this thing. And we're just looking for the slightest little inconsistency to burn it all down. And that's my self-sabotage ways that I love to do. I love self-sabotaging all the time. And that's where that faith comes in. That's where those throw it all away. Everything that you've known, like stop believing the way you think, everything, the way you see things. We have to like really hone in on trying to change us, and it's not going to happen overnight. So you got to put the bat down and fucking give yourself a fucking break as well.
It's a busted coping mechanism because we could say, see, I knew that was going to happen. Then we don't have to try because I knew I was just a junkie and that I couldn't do it anyway. So I proved it to you.
And then you go back in that Eeyore, you know, hey guys, you know, and there I am, hey, and you know, and it sucks, and I have a friend in here. It's actually talking about the let's see, where is it at? The voices are tough to go through. Like even if you're demanding it to stop, it continues. And he's talking about relationships. Now listen, I used to be the guy. Okay, I was the guy that would play the scenarios in my head over and over and over of what people did to me, how it affected me, the relationships, because a relationship doesn't matter if it's sexual or friends, like it doesn't really matter. It's an intimate relationship between people. And those are the things that are going to trip us up the most, no matter what. Okay. It's always going to trip us up the most. And going through those things, when people do you wrong or you care about someone, you're emotionally invested in somebody, right? You're emotionally invested into this person. It's all you've known. And so we like to play those scenarios over and over. What if I should have did this differently, or this, that, and the other thing, and blah, 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 blah. And we can go down those rabbit holes. And the only way to stop it is, guess what? We use our solution. Our coping mechanism is drugs and alcohol. Shut that shit down. I don't want to hear it anymore. It's the quick fix. It's the thing that's going to work instantaneously. It does stop, but we have to practice those things to offset those thoughts. And how does that work? Meditation, prayer, changing the belief system, the things that are going on with us, and know that we've done everything we can. We can't change it, accepting it and moving on, you know? So go ahead, Nate. Or no, Melissa, or Nate, whoever.
Well, everything that you said, he's asking. I saw the comment, so I'm glad that you pulled it up because I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was around Christmas time. I jumped on with you guys, and I was struggling so bad. Is when I can talk about it now. The publisher, like, robbed me blind, basically. Yeah. And then and I just was devastated because I just poured my whole heart into Recovering Out Loud. And it was just a big, long, whatever. You can't get, I mean, I was in my head and the voices and it was terrible. And you're right, Justin. That wasn't a romantic relationship, but that was a relationship that was built over 2 years. And I trusted this guy. And I put everything into it, my heart, my soul, financially, everything. But you know how I got out of that scenario? He wants to know, how do you get out of it? You listed a bunch of things, but for me, for my own experience, how I got through it, other than time and of course my higher power, was the connection. I think you had me come on and join you guys, not because you necessarily needed me to. I think you guys were being good friends and welcoming me on to talk myself through it and see that I wasn't by myself and I could get up and I could get back out there, and that I would see the comments from the people. You know, you were pulling me up when I could not do it myself. I had to call out to help. I had to say, Justin, Tiffany, I'm stinking fast, scary fast. I didn't relapse, but I did on the levels that I know as relapse without actual physical substance. I checked out of everything, right? And so I had to be in action. I had to get back up. I had to keep going. And I didn't want to. I didn't want to go on Sober Now and post motivational things because I didn't feel motivated, but I just started doing it. They say that saying one day at a time for a reason, because it's true and it works. And you can call it cliche and you can call it a bunch of garbage and overdone and over memed on social media and whatever else, but it's true. You know what I mean? 1 second at a time. Today I'm going to get up. John, today you're going to get up and you're going to brush your teeth and you're going to go to a wherever you know that there's people that are, and you just show up. On Saturday, I went to a yard sale. I didn't want to. It was 6 a.m. I thought it was crap. I thought I was going to be wasting my time. I was tired. I did the whole for me. I don't want to. This doesn't matter. And I made so many new friends just by selling the stuff to raise some money for Sober Now. It wasn't even about the money I raised. It was like blessings after blessings from God about connection. I cried. I got hugs. A woman came in front of me and was like, "Oh, you wrote a book about recovery. You're never going to believe this." We started talking and networking, and I'm shy. Like, I get in front and talk to you guys, but I'm shy. And so it's hard for me to pull myself and do that. But John, you can be into action. And I'm not saying get up and go save the world, but get moving, reach out, stay connected, stay connected. Do not be afraid to say, man, I'm going through it. That comment that you just did was a step towards staying connected. Because now here we are. I don't know you personally. I can't see you. I know you can see me, but I feel you. Do you know what I mean? So you're not alone. You got this. You can make it through it. Just keep making those moves where you're reaching out to somebody, and you're going to start seeing it. You're working yourself through it without the drugs, without the alcohol, without the voices going crazy in your head. You're loved.
I love what you just said. I don't feel like being motivational today.
You're always going to get the truth from me, you guys. Some days I don't want to be.
No, legit. And I know Justin's got to feel that one.
All of y'all, everybody.
You're making all the stuff to post on social media, like I go into work, and I mean, it's a roofing company. It's dysfunctional at best, in there. And I've said that. That's why I'm smiling, laughing, because I'm like, I don't want to be the good example, the ray of positivity. I don't want to be motivational today, but I have to be. I can't jump down into the mud with everybody else. I have to be the one that's trying to pull the people out of the mud. So
if you are the one that pulls the people out of the mud, sometimes you'll find that it's actually them pulling you out, but you don't know until you get in the mud with the people. Who's pulling who cares? But you got to get in there and throw some mud around. Mud wrestling sounds fun.
Nate, get in here and throw some mud around.
Yeah, throw it.
I was just thinking about, when like when I'm saying loneliness is a choice, it's not like, anybody in their right mind. And even when I wasn't in my right mind, I didn't say, hey, I really want to be alone. I really want to isolate myself and not be around anybody. It's not like a conscious decision. It's that decision is driven by about 100 other things. It's driven by insecurities. It's driven by fear. It's driven by lack of self-worth. It's driven by lack of connection. It's not like I make a conscious decision to be alone. That decision is made for me based on how I am moving in my recovery. That is how I become lonely. And today, for me, it's not like I'm going to like what Justin was saying about, when we get in that space and we'll turn to our solution, I'm not going to go to drugs and alcohol first, but what I am going to go to are the things the behaviors that I used while I was out there that helped me in that situation, which will inevitably be me disconnecting, me isolating, feeling sorry for myself, thinking that I'm not worthy, thinking that I'm not enough. Somebody doesn't want me. Somebody doesn't like me. I didn't get invited. All of these things will start, forming that narrative in my head. And I don't ever want to tell somebody like, oh, well, it's false evidence appearing real. You tell that to somebody that is fucking tormented by these fucking narrative in their head. That shit is real when it's happening. It has a physical, mental, and spiritual effect on you. I know that it had it on me, so to say that's, it might not be real. And, in retrospect, when we get through to the other side, but in the midst of that fear, in the midst of that insecurity, in the midst of that loneliness, that there is nothing more pressing, more dark, and more real than that feeling, that physical feeling, right? It's overwhelming to the point where it's like a perpetual pit in your stomach, right? So I was thinking about it. I'm like, whoa, because I know what that feels like. It sucks. It's not a good feeling, right? So what can I do differently, And this goes back to and then one more point I want to touch on before I know you got to read comments and stuff, Justin, but there's another side to this, right? That overcompensating, feeling like I have to be a part of everything, or that I have to be involved with everybody, or that I have to have 100 friends, be invited to every party, be in every circle, have everyone smile like I smile at them, or say hello when I say hello to them, say thank you when I open the door for them. Like, that is like the most self-centered type of mindset. And, you know, people will say, oh, I'm not selfish, but if I trade inventories with people, and sometimes under selfish, they'll be like none. I'm like, man, if you're saying you're not selfish at some point in your day, you need to reevaluate what selfishness is. Because for me, self-centeredness is one of the most toxic traits that I could possibly have, right? When I think that I am so important that I have to be involved in everything that's around me, right? Or that someone's not calling me because of something I did. You know, these people have their own lives, their own families, their own jobs. You know, they're not thinking about me like that, you know? And so for me, I want to get to a place in my recovery where I can be by myself and be okay. That's the goal, right? Not like, oh, I don't want to talk. No, I need to learn how to sit with myself and not be tormented, right? To be at peace. And for me, how I've discovered like the best way to do that, like, because when I first got there, I had to have all these friends and go to all these events and, you know, all this service engagements. And if I wasn't doing that, I wasn't doing recovery right, you know, and I was burnt out. I took one addiction and I traded it for another, you know, constantly overcompensating because I was empty inside still. I haven't done the inside work, right? So for me, I had to scale down my circle. I had to find my tribe, keep a handful of people that are close to me, and show up in a way that complements my spiritual connection, who I am, people that like are kind of like me, but not, you know, people that are going to challenge me and not just let me sit in my bullshit. And, you know, today I'm so grateful that I can at times be alone and be okay, you know, because for me, if today, and that goes for two ways, loneliness is a choice for me today. And that could be either a light or dark. You know what I mean? If I'm connected, if I am with my people, if I'm talking every day, doing inventory, meditating, you know, I can be alone and be completely at peace. Sometimes I thrive in that arena, right? But if I'm not doing those other things, it becomes dark and it becomes something ugly and messy and insecure and full of fear, you know? So it's just like, again, bring it back to, you know, my source and like what am I doing? What am I doing on a daily basis to nurture this relationship? You know, if I can nurture a friendship, if I can nurture a relationship, why can't I nurture this relationship that is ultimately saved my life and continues to make it grow and creates a space where I can evolve and get closer to my truth and purpose, which is to help others.
Yeah, and you know it's funny, man. It you know, I've seen it. I don't know. I've seen it a couple times where like I'm in this relationship with this person that's trying to kill me, right? And I was like, wow, that's a really, so it's like, man, we need to get better at the relationship with ourselves in order for that person not to kill us. Because I mean, there's a few times, man, I was doing the video with Melissa and I was talking about the damn you know, committing suicide on a payment plan. You know what I mean? That's exactly what I was doing. I was committing suicide on a fucking payment plan because that relationship with myself was toxic. You know what I mean? It's a toxic relationship with myself. I'm gonna put that as my status, you know, my Facebook stat. Toxic relationship with myself. But yeah, and you know what's funny, dude? I was having a conversation with Tiffany earlier. I'm gonna read some comments after this, but I was having a conversation with Tiffany earlier, and we're talking about working out, right? I was gun ho and working out, right? And I was doing it first thing in the morning. Is like when I can do it, and that's it. But I have changed it from actually lifting weights to lifting weights mentally, right? Because physically, cool, right? It doesn't work, because if this thing is jacked up, not in a good way, like jacked up, man, I'm not going to be physically, mentally, it's not going to work out for me. So I've replaced it with doing my meditation in the morning, because if I'm not, I don't give a fuck what I look like. I'm a mess. I am just horrible. So, and that's why I'm not, she's, you know, she started getting back into it. And I'm not, man. I'm just not yet. I'm not there yet. And I got to figure it out, but eventually I will, but it's going to take time and I'm not going to rush into it. You know what I mean? But yeah, let me read some comments real quick. I know freaking Rachel, I'm going to highlight this one comment right here. She dropped not too long ago, or is right here. Is get the fuck out of self is the only thing that gets me out of the rabbit holes. Service, meetings, connecting with others, recovering addicts. Sometimes you just gotta strap on your boots and stomp straight through it. And that's facts right there, man. Get the fuck out of self. And that's Eeyore. Get the fuck out of Eeyore. We're gonna make a meme of that. Stomping and cussing, but I'm gonna go where God's pushing me to go. Thanks, Caesar.
Yeah, I just love her so much. I had to get the second half of that up there.
You know, it's funny. I can see her doing that in her cowboy boots. Okay, there's that.
No, I picture it with her Doc Martens in the little dress. Just stomp.
And it's so true, man. It's get out of, you know, like I said, I'm gonna make a meme of that. Get out of Eeyore. You know what I mean? Because that's exactly what it is. You know. Let's see. Let me go right here, somewhere right here. We got Tony that says, fucking insecurities, they don't just magically go away. Continuous daily reminders that I am enough. And that's it, man. You gotta freaking gas yourself up. Gas yourself up. And you need to be around people that are gonna gas you up as well. You know? And if you don't have them, you need to find them, and they're out there. Let's see. We got Maddie in the house. What's up, Maddie? She said 100 forms of fear, self-seeking versus self-searching. That's it. You know, loneliness, like Nate was saying, loneliness could be two things, man. It's either in the dark or it's in the light. You know, being with yourself is different than being by yourself, if that makes sense. Right? Yeah.
Oh, I like that, Justin. That is good.
Yeah. Being with yourself instead of being by yourself. So Rachel says, what I first experienced as loneliness was can actually become freedom, depending on the choices I make and the perspective I choose, the actions I take to create my experience of life. I have the freedom to fill my life with the things that feed my spirit. Be still and connect with my higher power and hug all the trees I want. That's it right there, yo. You know, man, I want to go hug some trees with Rachel, man. I'll tell you right now.
Oh, Justin, real quick. And then something, and that's the beautiful thing about the relationship with your higher power, because once that you establish a strong connection, even you'll start seeing everything is related, even in settings that aren't while you're praying or meditating. You'll start seeing God in social media. You start seeing God in the homeless. You'll start seeing God in the people you fucking judge, and having compassion for them and thinking, where do they come from? Why are they feeling? Why are they like this? You know, that is the relationship with God that I have today, where I am able to see a reflection of his creation in everything and everyone, not just in the recovery arena, you know, everywhere, in all my actions and all the things, you know, that I experience on a daily basis.
I talked about that too. If you can see everybody, every human as going through the same exact thing you're going through, like struggling, right? I think that we could have a little bit more compassion. Like, everybody does not got their shit together. Okay. Everybody's winging it just like you and me. And we're just trying to figure this life thing out. There's no book. There's no freaking handbook on the right way, wrong way. We have experiences, you know what I mean? But everything is like, can change at any moment, any given moment. And what works for the other person might not work for you, and it might. So you want to try it. And if that don't work, try something else. Just keep trying.
Just keep trying. I love that. Yeah. I like Maddie put this up here, but that first thing, move a muscle, change a thought, that gets me out of more shit than anything. Because if I'm disturbed or feeling some type of way, I don't sit with it anymore. I don't nurture the the resentment. I don't nurture the feeling sorry for myself. I move my ass. I pick up the phone, go to the gym. I just get moving. And as soon as I get moving, it's like my body gets moved out of like the depression and the shit feeling, and I'm moving towards something else. And then my brain kicks in and I start making the phone calls and doing what I got to do. I just don't sit in it anymore. I don't have I'll use Nate's term. I don't have room in my spirit to feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
I can't nurture toxic feelings anymore. I have to nurture the actions that lead me to feeling good about myself and good about the people around me.
Yeah. And as much room as much room you have in your spirit for that stuff, or as long as you sit in that chaos, is in direct relation to how strong your spiritual connection is.
I can't sit in it for too long.
No, because you're doing the work, because you're connected. There's no room for darkness when you have light in you. You know, light expels darkness.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. You know, it's just like when you shit your pants, you're going to go change it or not? You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
That's one way to put it.
Shit, I sharted. I got to go.
But that's it. How long am I going to sit in my shit these days? Now that I've tasted the solution, now that I know that I can be happy and useful, and now that I know what it feels like to be useful and whole, I'm not going to sit in my poopy diaper all day. I'm going to get moving.
Hey guys, I shitted myself. You know, I get out of it, man.
Look, man, I'm closer to 50 than I am to 40. I might shit myself. I'm not going to sit in it.
It happens, okay? It happens.
Oh,
I
Justin.
trusted you.
Thank you, Justin, for bringing it down to a level that's understandable to a guy like me.
That's it, man. We gotta keep it simple, stupid. You know what I mean? Like I like keeping it that way. You know, I'm right there. You know.
Oh my God! Listen, Tina ain't gonna sit in that shit. She's got a bidet. And she posted on Facebook right after they installed it too. So I know she's telling the truth.
If I was reading that comment, I would have butchered that fucking word.
I got your back, man. I got your back.
The bidet's got your back.
We should have official comment reader of freaking the Hope Shot.
You mean someone that can just read English?
Yeah, that's it, man. I'm not. I do other things. I do things and stuff, you know.
Yes, you do.
Let's see. We have we got Jason says we're only sick as our secrets, and that's a fact right there, man. And that's where I like to sit in my shit and think those secrets are legit too. Ugh, that's scary. We have
stuff that cracks the door, like Melissa was just saying, is as soon as you hold on to the first secret, I can't tell anybody that's embarrassing. You're cracking the door, and then you're going to hold the next thing back and the next thing back. And the next thing you know, your mind is swimming with that. I don't feel good about myself anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel the good self-esteem that I once had.
Yeah. Yeah. Ashley says, if I don't stop that first thought, it turns into a whole bad day and some. And it could be a whole bad month. I used to hold on to that shit for a year. That's how bad it was.
Professional resentment nurturer.
I am that dude. Okay. I nurture the shit out of resentments. And I didn't even know I was nurturing them until I found out what resentments were. You know? Like, yeah. Maddie, I like to ask myself questions like, how long do I want to be in pain? Does this help me create the life that I want? Am I being honest and accountable? That's it, man. Just ask yourself some questions, man. You're honest, being honest with yourself, you know, not by yourself, with yourself. Let's see. We got Erica says, you seem to butcher a lot.
Seem to butcher a lot. Part of the charm of the show, Erica.
It's how it goes, you know. If not, I have no character on this show, you know. It's just straight English.
We talk about being authentically awkward. We're also authentically illiterate.
Yeah. Yep, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah,
I know where I fail, and I'm
me
okay.
too.
All right, man. That was a good show, man. Thank you so much. Oh, expectations are premeditated resentments.
Yep, that's basically what we talked about. When was that? Last week?
I don't know.
They
We
all
talk a
blend
lot,
together.
so who knows? I
We
think
do talk
mix
a
and
lot.
match. Mix and match. All right. Let's read one more comment. Okay, we'll get Tony on the. What's up, Tony? My dude. Pain was the admission price to change my old ways of thinking. Everything I've done in my life and everything I do in life all starts with a thought. Yep. Could be good, could be bad. Just depends on what it is. All right, man. That's it for tonight, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight, man. It was a great show. Melissa, thank you so much.
So grateful. Thank you. I love you, Hope Shot. I love all of y'all so much. My recovery path. Oh, did he cut us off already?
I think he did.
I don't know if he cut us off. I know that he just disappeared, though.
Oh, well, if we're still on, let me finish. I love you guys all. I love the connection we talked about. Y'all are part of that. Y'all are my connection. So are
See?
you back?
Just like listen, I was doing the 2-finger on the mouse thing, and it just swiped me out of here. You know what I mean? I was like, wiki, 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 gone. I butcher my video stuff too. So there's that. All right. That's it. All right.
That's it. Peace out.
All right, y'all. Love y'all, man. Have a great week. And yeah, we'll see you next Sunday at 8 p.m. See ya.